South Texas Amateur Tour Podcast, The Power Hour, with your hosts, Travis Silkowski, Michael Emanuelian, Casey Graham, Jason Bird, and Brad Gilbert.
What's going on, everybody? What's up, party people? Welcome to the show. It is the Power Hour. My name is MD, professional apple pie taster and judger. And at times I play golf and occasionally run a podcast. Hope everyone is having a wonderful evening. It is Wednesday, August 28th. We are almost there into September. It is 7:33. And yeah, it's pretty awesome. You know, off topic here while I was thinking about it. In the entry video, and I will need to verify this because I don't know for sure. When it's introducing our wonderful team, Michael Emanuelian, I have never heard a shut the fuck up, Keo. Way to hit him with the energy. What would you know about energy, old man? Besides the point. I wonder if that was a generated voice, or if someone actually recorded it, because I've never heard my phone. I've never heard any technology ever say my last name right. So just was thinking about that. It's pretty interesting. All that being said, welcome to the show. Let's talk a little bit. We're going to talk about Brack tonight. We're going to recap Brack. Some really good golf at Brack. We're going to talk about the new top 10. Definitely some changes. 2 new members to the top 10, and a bunch of movement on the leaderboard. Danny Puckett confirming that is in fact a real human. That dude's voice is fantastic. I don't know if that's altered at all, but if that is his real voice, really, really cool. Danny Puckett, Global Fairway Logistics partner for the tour this season, generating and creating that video, as well as our South Texas Match Play Challenge video, and a lot of the ads that you see on the carts, the graphics that you see, a lot of cool stuff. So shout out to Danny Puckett. Thank you for watching and confirming that information. But we are going to talk top 10. We're going to talk a little bit about the playoffs at TPC for the Greater Hill Country Division. TPC, top 48 players. And again, that's all natural. That dude's voice, Kalen's voice, that's fantastic. We have TPC playoffs 2 days at the Canyons course and then finishing on Oaks. That's going to be awesome. That is for 2 spots on the South Texas Match Play Challenge team. That kicks off not this weekend, but the following weekend at TPC. If you have not signed up yet, if you were on the Greater Hill Country Tour division this year, if you played, you got an automatic invite, you automatically qualified for the playoffs. And that being said, if you have not registered yet, reach back out, shoot an email back to the team. Let us know if you're playing. 48 spots. We are at 43 players, I believe. So we're filling up and really, really excited to see that. Before we jump into everything else, before we start talking, going down the rabbit hole of everything going on the tour, let's go ahead and bring in my buddy, my co-host, my golfing partner, and just a good guy in general. Maybe one of the best mustaches on tour, Brad Gilbert.
What's up, MD? How you doing?
What? I am doing well, buddy. How are you doing?
Not too bad. It's actually kind of cool to see Keo in the comments. It's been a while since I've seen him in the comments. I wonder if it has something to do with how good he played this weekend.
Yeah, for once he doesn't show up to tournaments, I feel like, these days. And then he's got the audacity to come on my podcast and talk shit.
Well,
but that being said,
he's in
glad
first
he's live.
place, so thankfully, if gonna miss a couple of them, Greg. That's okay, not a problem.
I mean, Keo is just making it known he's here to harass. That's all I got. I don't get to play with him anymore, sadly. So I miss Keo, and he knows it.
Man,
So
I was behind him all day. Man, he was playing good. I could tell.
he was. I mean, there were a lot of damn good scores, a lot of damn good golf played at Brack. Let's jump into Brack. So obviously you had a good round. What did you think of the course conditions? What did you think of pin placements? What did you think of the course in general?
Man, I really liked it. Brack was, I mean, I don't want to, I probably wouldn't say immaculate, but it was pretty damn good. It was really good. I had no issues. I mean, the greens were rolling perfectly. A lot of the times I struggle putting on Brack screens for some reason. I don't know if it's the grain or what, but it just seemed a little bit different this time. It seemed pretty smooth, you know.
It's weird. It's funny that you say that because, obviously I made a putter switch the day before, and wasn't sure how it was gonna feel.
Never know.
And that might have been some of the best putting I've ever had at Brack. Maybe some of the best and most consistent putting I've had out there. I thought the course was great. What did you think of those pins?
Yeah, I thought, I mean, it's always a good challenge with our setup committee. And I think, I can't think of a bad pin. I think they were all pretty good challenge.
I don't think any bad pins, a couple of tough ones tucked back, or, it tucked in one of those normal kind of spots that we see it. But the ones that were tucked long felt a little odd to me. Not in a bad way, but just I'm not used to seeing that pin position.
Yeah.
Like I think a lot about on 14, tucked all the way in the back.
Oh yeah, that's
like
with.
I mean, it was obviously we got to tee it up a little bit further, and the pin was up, or the tee boxes were up. But being tucked all the way back there, it almost made that hole seem easier, to be honest.
Yeah.
I kind of wish I had access to Golf Genius to pull that reporting. I'd love to see how that hole played up against what it historically has.
Well, especially where it was back right too, because a lot of people like to go left into 13 fairway, right, and approach it from that side. But man, if you miss long and you go down that hill, that is dead. Actually, Dakota missed down there, and he had an amazing chip shot from off the dirt back up to that short-sided pin. But I mean, you have to hit something special to get close. But I was thinking number 6. I've only played number 6 with the pin in the front right twice, I think, that I can remember. I think I birdied it that first time, and then I freaking double bogeyed it this time. But that pin position, I mean, that's pretty neat in my opinion. You can short side yourself pretty easily, and that in the rough at Brack right now, it's no joke.
Yeah, I mean, 6 is always a weird hole for me because it's always going to come down to like that tee shot. Because if I'm too far left, I'm through the fairway and possibly in the woods. Poor Sean Vidal probably had the worst situation possible, where one of the trees down there, the roots and everything like that, forming a little cove and stuff like that. His tee shot, he rolled the ball in about 6 inches in and under the tree and had to take it unplayable, which just sucks. But I mean, that hole, I mean, you can try and take it over the bunker, and if you miss right, you're in trouble. If you miss too far left, you're in trouble. And then that short side on the left, I mean, I think I had about 70 or 80 yards in, and I tried to go at it.
Exactly.
And I think I landed like maybe a foot short and then spun it back even a little bit more. So I had to just chip on and say par.
Yeah.
That was a tricky little pin too.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that pin position right there. But yeah, like I said, man, I can't think of a bad pin. I think they were all challenging. And I actually played a practice round on Friday And I shot 3 under on the front 9, and I felt like I could make every putt. But then once we got in the competition with these more challenging pins, I mean, it's just a different story. So.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. That front nine was cool. Like, I had a good group, and watching my guys making a shit ton of birdies. I kind of played ho hum par golf and made a birdie on 7, and finished 1 under on the front. And then, same story just about every time for me is I suck on 12 and 13, and just didn't. I knew I was gonna have to shoot 4 or 5 under minimum. And I shot 73, and it was never going to play.
Still pretty good though.
You want to be pissed. You want to be pissed off at that round. You want to be like, well, fuck, I got roasted by like 9 strokes, 10 strokes. But like, oh shit, no, it's 73 is perfectly fine.
Yeah,
just not going to win. God damn it, everyone's so freaking good.
Exactly.
So let's talk about our winners, because there are some really, really good scores across every flight. I'm really excited to talk about Champ Flight just because our net and gross winner are the 2 guys I played with. So I knew I lost very early into the back 9, so I could just kind of have fun and relax. But let's talk top. Or let's talk winners from this weekend.
Okay, let's do it. Let's start with Fourth Flight net. So Fourth Flight net with a score of 11 under par is Mr. Barrett Hansen. 11 under 60 on the net side.
That is
pretty solid.
I don't know if this is his first cookie or not. I think it might be.
I think so too. But man, if he keeps playing like that, it won't be his last. That's for sure.
No, I mean, if you can shoot, I mean that's playing well beyond your handicap, and that's a really good day.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he shot a gross 11 over 82, which is, I mean, that's pretty solid on the gross side even too. So
yeah,
man, 1 shot lead, 11 under par on with Fourth Flight net. Mr. Barrett Hansen, good playing, man.
Great playing. Congrats on your win.
Yeah, for sure. And then on the gross side of Fourth Flight, I mean, come on, how exciting is this? Mr. Lee Mole shooting an 8 over 79. You know he was excited.
Yeah.
8 over 79 for a 1-shot lead over Will Scott. Mr. Lee Mole. Birdie in the first hole, starting out strong. When he
was 1 under through like.
Yeah.
I mean, he had a good round. I saw him at 1 under at one point, and I'm like, oh shit.
He was even through 7, so he's playing solid front 9. He only had 1. Yeah, 1 birdie, 1 bogey, and then 8 bit him a little bit, which that's a tough par 3. Yeah, and then it'd be interesting to see what happened on 9. That's where, I mean, without the big number on 9, man, that could have been a special round. But, man, I'm right there with him. That number 9, I cannot seem – yeah, I'm either on number 1 green or it's OB right.
That's why I'm glad I played the draw.
Yeah, exactly.
I rarely worry about going out on the right.
Yeah, for sure.
As long as I'm not too far right, aiming too far right where I'm trying to cut the trees and catch them, but not far enough left that I don't hook it into the bunker. Yeah,
exactly. But yeah, Lee Mole, man, playing really solid. That's 8 over, 1 stroke lead.
That's some pretty damn good playing. I think that is his 4th cookie of the season or of the year. He
right.
has if you're friends with him on Facebook, he posted a great picture of his cookies. I mean, no one gets more amped up than Lee, and he's just such a good dude. Like, he's just such a good dude. So I'm so happy he got another win in there.
For sure. I don't know how those cookies last so long. I don't know how he hasn't eaten them. I eat mine.
A name that I always go back to for who doesn't eat cookies. For some of the viewers out there, you may have never heard this name. For our longtime listeners, you know this person, even though we haven't seen him, and we hope he's doing well, and we hope he comes back to play at some point. Dustin Hassan.
Oh,
Dustin
yeah.
has never eaten a single one of his cookies he's ever won in the several years that we've been doing that. That the amount of willpower that takes.
Yeah.
Like, I don't possess it.
Same. It's almost always eaten before I get to the car, actually. So
That's how it was for me once or twice. But now Emma has an expectation. When I collected my cookie from our win at Willow, I brought that home, and she goes, "Daddy, did you win? Did you bring me a cookie?" I'm like, "Well, didn't win, but we still got a cookie out of it, so
there you go.
we're in the green. We're positive."
Yeah. Jeremy was saying he gives it to his boys as well. He hasn't eaten his either, but
yep.
Come on, Jeremy.
The things we do for our kids, man.
I know. It just brings a flashback to Saturday. My middle son, 13, who actually is at soccer practice right now. He's like, because I don't know if anyone knows, but we partnered together at the last event. We got a cookie, and you had to leave early, so I held on to the cookie for you, and somehow that cookie stayed intact the whole time. Because my 13-year-old was eyeing it the whole time, and he was like, I was thinking about just eating it. I was like, okay, well, I'll go win you one today or tomorrow, and wasn't able to do that, but you're lucky that cookie made it the whole week.
Hey man, that's fine. We'll win a cookie for him at Northern Hills.
There you go. I
mean, you and me in the same cart is a deadly combo, so
exactly.
Not worried about it. All right, let's talk third flight.
Yeah, speaking of cookies, another cookie winner on third flight net, Mr. Tim Price, shooting a 7 under 64 on the net side.
Who was not available for a photograph.
Yeah, unfortunately, we weren't able to get his picture, but we know Tim. I don't think that was his first cookie, right?
Definitely was not his first cookie.
Yeah, that's what I thought. He's a regular. So
yeah, he is.
Really good playing, Tim. And then on third flight gross side, I mean, this is crazy. Mr. Jason Barger with a 2 over 73. 2 over 73. Now, I've played with Jason a couple times, and he is a very solid player. He's I'm not sure if we got his picture or not.
I don't believe we do. Now I didn't even think about it until you said that, and now I'm like, oh, let me go double back to the chat and make sure I have these photos.
Yeah, no problem.
I do not recall that photograph.
No problem. While you're looking for that, I'll just speak on Jason. I play with him, like I said, quite a few times. We played together at Olympia Hills, and man, he's just a solid player. And he had 3 birdies on the day, shot 3 over on the front, 1 under on the back, which is very impressive.
That's great.
Yeah. So so Jason Barger with
we do not have a picture of him.
No picture? Okay.
No picture.
But we all know Jason. And this won't be his last cookie either. So really good playing, Jason. 7-stroke lead, third flight gross for Jason Barger.
Fantastic.
That is crazy. Really good playing. So on to second flight. Second flight on the net side, scorecard playoff. So actually scorecard playoff for first gross and first net. It was 2 people were in the hunt for gross and net. But getting on the net side, shooting a 665 is none other than Jonathan Harder, who I think I saw in the chat earlier. There he is. Yep. So really good playing, Jonathan. So Jonathan shot a 4 over 75.
Did no one stay for pictures?
Yeah, it was kind of crazy around this time.
That's 3 different names that we didn't get pictures of, and I was freaking out.
Yeah.
So I am glad to confirm that. Okay.
Yeah, we were kind of scrambling on.
We know what Harder looks like. He freaking wins all the time.
Freaking. Yeah,
it's like a picture of Laz or Morgan or anyone else.
Exactly.
We know what they always win. Bob North, same thing.
South Texas Match Play Championship teammate Jonathan Harder. He had tickets to oh yeah, that's right. Jonathan had to take off. Yeah, so he wasn't able to stay. But seriously, good plan, Jonathan. Really solid. And as Travis mentioned, we have all the pictures on the website. So they are all those.
Just
pretty
go look at a previous tournament and you'll see Jonathan.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Not his first, and not his last for sure.
Absolutely
But
not his last.
yeah, on the second flight on the gross side, so again, well, this wasn't a scorecard playoff. He won by 1 stroke, shooting a 3 over 74, which is very solid. Jeremy Simlinger, and we know he didn't eat his cookie, so hopefully his sons enjoyed the cookie.
And they've had a couple opportunities this year.
Exactly.
Semlinger's been playing some pretty fine golf.
Absolutely. He's one of those names where it's like you know you're always looking on the leaderboard like where's Jeremy at, right?
Yep.
And man, he had 4 birdies on the day.
Wow.
Yeah, 3 over on the front, even par on the back. 3 birdies on the back 9, which I'm not sure how you do that. It's not something I can do for sure.
You just make good. I mean, if you navigate, where did he have those birdies?
Let's see. So number 11. Okay, that's pretty solid.
That's a short par 4. That's still a good birdie. That was a tough little pin back there.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And it's even, I found like even without that tree that was there right past the bunker, like it's still a pretty difficult tee shot,
Oh yeah.
Pretty daunting, yeah. And then he birdied number 12 at par 5. I'm sure he bombed it past the bunker like he usually does and probably knocked it on in 2 and 2-putted. And then he birdied 15.
That's a good one.
That is a really good one. That pin position was tucked on the left side behind the bunker, kind of behind the bunker. I thought that was a pretty difficult tee shot, even though it was 130 yards or whatever.
I mean, that hole always plays difficult. Like, I mean, I saw a lot of good shots into 15, though. I think that was what I was most surprised at. Like, my group, I think, was all inside 6 feet. Sean Vidal's group was all inside of like 6 feet. There were some good shots into 15, but I think a birdie there is still fantastic.
Yeah, for sure. For me, when we got there, the wind was a little bit more off the right. And so even if you went right at the pin, there was a good chance that wind was going to blow it left of the green. But yeah, it was a good pin position. But check this out. So with a double bogey on 17, man, that could have been even lower. So he just parred that hole and he parred 18. I mean, that could have been a 1 over. So
I mean, that's it's the same thing we always talk about. It's reduced the big errors.
Yeah, for sure.
Avoid doubles, make a couple of birdies and offset some stupid bogeys. But I mean, Jeremy's continued to play good golf throughout the last few years. I'm glad to see him really this year. It feels like he's having probably one of the better years he's had in a little bit. But glad to see him winning. He continues to show up with great outfits as well. His shirt game is MD-esque of 2022. But very, very good job to Semlinger in his win.
Yeah, great playing, guys. So that's second flight. So we'll jump to first flight net. Man, my boy. Apparently this guy made a 30-foot putt on 18 for birdie to leapfrog me on the net side. So I'm very happy for him. If you can
look
hear
like
the sarcasm in my voice. But no, seriously, Austin Perryman shooting a 6 under 65 on the net side. Man, he was so stoked. Mostly because he never beats me. And so he got to beat me for once. So no, I'm just kidding. But seriously, it was really good playing by Austin, and he's another one that he's playing really good this year. It seems like he always plays good at Brack too.
Seems like he just plays well in general. He's had a good season too.
Yeah, I agree with that. And man, he hits the ball super long. Like he is very long, deceptively long. Yeah. That's ridiculous.
Congrats to Austin on another win.
Yeah, great playing, Austin. I know that's not going to be his last cookie either. He's going to finish strong this year. And then on the gross side, on the first flight, man,
You got to jump by two of your buddies.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, but it's like I wouldn't have it any other way because, Andre Ramirez played some solid golf, and man, he held on. It got a little sketchy there at the end, but he held on for a 1 under 70 to take first gross by 2 shots over Mr. Greg Keogh, who also played great.
Yep.
Yeah, I came to 18, thinking that I needed a birdie, right? I needed a birdie just to get close to Greg and keep Austin away. But I ended up bogeying 18, and it was, I just couldn't keep up with these guys. They were just playing too good. So
yeah,
really good playing by Andre Ramirez and Austin Perryman in first flight.
Yep, congrats to them. I'm excited now for us to talk about Champ Flight because I watched both guys play. I was with them all day. I saw some really cool shit. Our net winner, I don't know what our net winner won by, how many strokes he won by. If you can.
Yeah, so on the net side, since gross was ridiculous.
Was well locked up.
Yeah, exactly. He won by 1 stroke. So
okay.
665. Yep. 665 on the net side for Mr. Dustin Weldon, which translates from a 5 under 66 on the gross side, which is ridiculous.
Again, I had the opportunity. I played with Dustin a million times. This was my first time playing with Alex, with Alex Artucci as well. And so had a really fun day with them. They both started off hot. Both made birdies to start the round. They played just super consistent golf. But Dustin, it comes down to 18. Dustin and I hit. We both kind of block our shots right of the green. We're on the slope on the far right side.
Yeah.
And so obviously that's kind of a gnarly chip because do you keep it low and try and take it like a putt, keep it on the ground, or do you take it up high and try and, I hit my shot, knock it to about 2 feet, about as good a shot as I thought could be hit to it. Dustin had a little bit flatter lie, a little bit straighter line at the pin, and I don't know how long that shot is, but he holes it for birdie.
That's crazy.
And it was freaking amazing. Like, it was such a good shot. And
absolutely crazy.
Dustin Weldon, again, who is not a very animated guy in his responses to good things happening at times. Yeah. Like, he goes about his business and makes his birdies and does his thing. But his reaction to that, like, he makes big shots in big situations. I've watched him do it. He has a history of doing it. That was one of the coolest. I've gotten to witness some pretty damn cool stuff watching Dustin over the last 18 months. So big shout out to Dustin. Truly just, it was amazing golf to watch.
Yeah, I bet it was, man. 7 birdies on the day. That's crazy. Yeah, so really good playing. Dustin Weldon, 6 under 65 on the net side. And then you mentioned his name on the gross side. 7 under 64 for Mr. Alex Zertucci.
Guys, don't look at him and take it for granted. That man is dangerous. And I know exactly why he's dangerous and why you haven't seen his name enough in the leaderboard or with cookies in a tournament. Alex Zertucci fundamentally just, it was the most effortless round of golf I've watched.
Nice.
I think I know exactly why he hasn't won, and that's because he plays with Ben Carricker, who is amazingly good at golf. But you put the two of them in a golf cart, between the booze and just them, it gets out of control. And
They have fun, huh? They have fun.
But apart from each other, they both played great golf. But Alex had at least, I know he had one. Did he had one eagle?
Yeah, so he had 5 birdies and 1 eagle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just effortless. His putting was. I mean, the putter was by far the hottest thing in his bag. He was pretty consistent off the tee. He's sneaky long, but hit really good shots. But his putter, I watched him maybe 2 or 3 times where he was, working to save his par.
Yeah.
And they were 10, 12 footers, and he just buried them in the heart.
Nice.
And I mean, that dude just went about his business. It was freaking awesome.
That's cool. And there was a post on the Facebook page, I believe, that people were guess what the winning score was and everything. And I think I put 5 under from first flight or
I
something.
think he said like 66, 67s and stuff like
I
that.
said I was talking to myself, about myself in case I didn't. But looking back on it, it's like, man, I should have. I'm not too surprised because I knew Alex was due for a win and a good round.
Way overdue.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, he's just been playing solid lately. So it's not a surprise, but yeah, it's really impressive. It's just cool to see a 7 under 64.
I mean, it was so fun to watch. It was so demoralizing at times to watch because I'm playing mediocre golf. I'm like 2 over or something like that, and I'm like, I just never get it at this golf course. I haven't figured it out, and I'm watching the two of them just go birdies, birdie, birdie, eagle, birdie. I'm like, good freaking God.
So who was keeping the scorecard in Golf Genius? Who was writing all those?
Weldon had the scorecards. Tucci had Genius.
Oh, okay. So you didn't have to hear it.
I got to the tee box and I told him, I'm like, guys, I do a lot of stuff with the tour.
Yeah.
I don't want to do Golf Genius.
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah.
I'm like, I can't. I don't want to do it. And yeah, I think if I had to listen to if I had to watch them more intently, or worse, have them confirm for me birdie or something like that after almost every goddamn hole.
Yeah.
I can't imagine my score would have been better.
Right. That's what I was asking. I was like, what'd you make again? Oh, birdie. What'd you make again? Birdie. Okay. Damn.
Like, I'm sitting there like, oh, that was a pretty decent par for me. And then I'm just like, oh, these guys are just making everything they look at.
Yeah.
Okay, fun. Yeah. But really, really cool. And the scores across the board, I mean, it was about half the flight, it felt like was almost under par.
Yeah.
It was a bunch of under par, or you were +2. Like, that was the bulk of scores.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there was 3 1-unders, and then 1 over was the next closest.
Okay.
So yeah.
Who had the 1 over? Was that Shaw?
Danny Lee.
Danny Lee.
Yeah, and I'm sure that was probably 12 or 18 pars, but no, a couple birdies there. Yeah. So, yeah, man, that's
again
flight.
The depth of champ flight. Now, that's not to say that obviously the depth in the other flights are not similar. Obviously, if I'm in 4th flight, who I look at as some of the best in our, in my group is different than what I'm looking at. But
sure.
The depth and the ability to go low in champ flight with these guys, especially on a gettable course for them.
Yeah.
The biggest thing here being these guys will beat the shit out of the ball.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of accepted I'm 30 yards behind them. It's fine. It is what it is. But at Brack, at a riverside, it almost becomes, kind of a joke at how.
Yeah, I agree.
Sorry about that. I am back. Someone's trying to FaceTime me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree, and that's how I felt playing with Jeremy and Seth at the last Greater Hill Country division event. They were consistently probably 30, 40 yards in front of me at least, and I mean, they were just destroying the ball. So I know what you mean. I feel you.
Can't hear.
Oh, you can't hear? Yeah, no problem. So while you're getting that straightened out, um, let me see. So other scores in the
Can you hear
chat.
me?
Yeah, now I can hear you. Can you hear me?
You can hear me?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes, I can
I
hear you.
can't hear you, so
Oh, interesting.
that's fine. I will figure it out. But moving, talking about our winners from the weekend, let's take a look at our top 10.
Let's do it.
And while we do that, I'll let you talk through top 10. I'm going to try and fix my shit on the back end here.
All right, no
So
problem.
here is your new top 10.
All right, so top 10, we got a couple of new players in. At number 10, Lee Mole with his big win, jumping up 17 spots to 10th place. And tied with him, I played with Dennis at Brack, and he played really good as usual. But he's actually down one to T10. Dennis Donofsky and Lee Mole at T10. At number 9, down 3 spots, is Charles Clark. Number 8, the Michael Dermanuelian, down 1. Number 7, Dustin Weldon, another big win. He's up 10 spots to number 7. Dale Beaver's been playing good all season. He's actually up 1 spot to number 6. Who's also playing in the Hill Country Division playoffs this next week or the next weekend. And number 5, Matthew Kawamoto, he actually stays at number 5. Still, he's playing solid as well. Roger Murray's actually down 1 from 3rd to 4th, which means Stephen Evans is down 2. He was in first place. Now he's down 2 to number 3. 25 points back from first, but in that critical top 3 for making the team. And then up to Jonathan Harder, another big win. And then I guess I don't know who that guy is at first, but up 1.
That guy is. Oh,
I don't know how he's up at first, but
that guy. I don't know how he's doing it.
I don't know. I'm just gonna hang on. I'm just gonna try to hang on. That's all I got. That's all I'm doing. But yeah, that's our top 10. And it's crazy because a lot of these golfers are playing in the Hill Country Division playoffs. I don't know if we want to get into that right now.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely want to talk about it. First and foremost, I'm now coming to you live from my phone, so please bear with me. But a couple of mix-ups in the some changes in the top 10, which is really cool. There's some different ways that this can play out. And the first thing that might cause some sort of domino effect here is the Greater Hill Country Playoffs at TPC, 2 weeks away. Super, super cool. So let's go ahead and get that pulled up. Give me 1 second here. Brad, talk to us a little bit about how you're feeling now, moved up into the number 1 spot. How does it change your mentality at all?
Yeah, it's pretty exciting, to be honest with you. It doesn't change my mentality because I know, I'm only 175 points out of, being top 10, from 10th place to first place, only 175 points. And we have 2 events left to go. So we have Alt Shot at Northern Hills and the PC Open. So, I mean, everyone on this list could easily whoop my butt and, leapfrog me and get me out of that top 3. But it doesn't change my mindset because I want to win. I do want to get first at the end of the year on the point standings. And the only way to do that is to win. So that's what I'm focused on doing.
Absolutely. So let's talk about the playoffs. Playoffs are going to be at TPC. Give me 1 second. I'm going to turn off that screen. I didn't realize that was still on. So we have the TPC Canyons course and Oaks course.
Very exciting.
That is the weekend of the 7th? The 7th and 8th.
7th and
That is
8th.
on 7th and 8th. 48 invites. Invites went out to everybody who participated in the Greater Hill Country Division. But the first 48 people to sign up get a spot in the event. We have 43 spots filled.
Oh,
And we
man.
have and we got a lot of good golfers playing in it. Brad Gilbert being one of them. Big name in the playoffs. There's going to be some talk because Seth Henry isn't going to be participating, and some other names that you might have expected to see.
Yeah.
But Greater Hill Country, TPC, playing both courses. We should have 48 before the end of the week, I'd hope. But again, that is imagine someone in top 3, potentially Brad Gilbert, winning the net or gross side victory at TPC, and you're qualifying for the team through that avenue versus the trail. Ooh,
Yeah.
that makes some fun changes.
And I can tell you that's definitely the goal, because September 8th is my birthday. So there's no better way to celebrate a birthday than winning on the Greater Hill Country Division and making the team. So extra motivation. That's all I need right there. So but
you getting to be one of the first 2 players
yeah,
ever make the South Texas Match Play Challenge team through the Greater Hill Country Division.
yeah, that would be really cool. And I told Travis at the very start of the year that the ultimate goal was to get Player of the Year in both divisions, Greater Hill Country Division and the Trail Division. So, that's still my goal. I know there's going to be a lot of work to get that done, and I'm going to have to beat a lot of great players. But you know what? That's the goal. So, very excited.
It's pretty cool. You've had a lot of success on the Greater Hill Country Tour, or on the Greater Hill Country Division, excuse me. Now getting to play TPC. You guys, I played a couple of the events, but Greater Hill Country played some pretty nice courses this year. Obviously, getting to get off of the trail and give a little bit more variety, some nicer courses. Which course has been your favorite so far? I know you've played TPC, so we'll add it in there.
Sure.
But what are the courses that we played this season on the Greater Hill Country were your favorite?
I would say Kissing Tree is probably one of my favorite courses to play. It's really fun. It's always in great shape. It was actually the first tournament, I believe, on the Greater Hill Country Division schedule.
Yeah.
But that being said, there wasn't a bad course. It was an awesome inaugural season, a good kickoff season. And man, I'm really looking forward to playing TPC in a competitive round. That's going to be really awesome.
I didn't realize at the time when we were doing the scheduling that I was not going to be in town for this event.
I was going to ask.
I'm going to be at a tournament of my own in Missouri. Myself, Scotty Williams, and Micah Carroll go to Missouri, and we are playing in a 3-person scramble with Tour Travels family and friends of the tour, Mike Sherman and JT Sherman, his son, who have come on the trips with us every year. They host us and a couple of other people. There's about 9 of us, and we have 3 teams that we put together and go play in Missouri. But we're playing Tuesday through Sunday this week or next week.
That's awesome, man. We're gonna miss you, but man, that sounds like a good trip.
I will be watching. I'm going to be doing my best to watch the scoring throughout the day. I have our actual tournaments on Saturday and Sunday, but I will be pretty much, if I'm on my phone, it's going to be checking out scores and seeing what that looks like, because
Awesome.
playoffs are going to be intense, and I'm going to be looking for you, man.
Well, if I'm playing good, I'm gonna be flooding your phone with texts between holes, walking. So
I mean, if I'm looking and I see you're doing, I mean, I'll text you, but I mean, if you're in the zone and you're playing good, I don't want to do
yeah,
anything.
yeah,
Uh, but I mean, interesting scenario on how how Greater Hill Country may impact the playoffs, potentially
yeah,
impact just this summer season. I think that's pretty cool that we get to have these two new spots added, but also decided before we get to the end of the summer season.
absolutely, yeah. I mean, imagine, Dale Beavers is one of the guys on the top 10 on the trail division, and what if he wins the playoff event and makes the team, and all of a sudden everyone below Dale doesn't have to worry about that spot. It's just one less person to beat on that top 10 to make the top three. So, man, there's so many implications. Like you said, it's going to be very exciting. But I'm
Yeah,
really
man,
looking.
I'm excited to see how it turns out, and looking forward to finishing up the season on the trail. Um, Guys, I think that kind of wraps up the night for us. Um, Thank you everyone for watching. Thanks for hanging out with us, Brad. Give us your thoughts, final thoughts in regards to the playoffs coming up at TPC and your prep for Northern Hills Alt Shot, still available for signups, happening on the 14th of September. That is the last event before we get to the PC Open. So make sure if you haven't signed up for that, you do that as well.
For sure, for sure. Really looking forward to the Northern Hills. But before that, I'm going to enjoy this 3-day weekend that's coming up. I'm probably going to just relax and as soon as we get back from this 3-day weekend, I'm going to hit it hard for the playoffs, getting ready for the playoffs, and then thankfully I have a good partner to lean on at Northern Hills. So really looking forward to that. You're muted. You're muted.
I am muted. Yes, I am very excited for the playoffs. Excited for us to go kick the math at Northern Hills. But before that, obviously on to TPC. I will be rooting for you, watching, and excited to just see the results of it at the end. I think it's just so cool.
I agree. Can't wait. It's going to be fun.
Yep, absolutely. Well, guys, we are going to call it a night. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. If you did get an invite to the playoffs and you haven't registered yet and you would like to play, shoot an email, response back, and you will be on the list. But we still have 2 events open on the trail division. That is Alt Shot at Northern Hills on the 14th. And then I believe, I don't remember the dates for the PC Open. I believe that is the 28th and 29th.
That sounds right.
That feels right. For the PC Open, finishing up the season at Almost Basin before we head to the playoffs. So, guys, thank you so much for hanging out. Oh, what do you got?
21st.
What is it, 21st?
Yeah,
21st and 26th. So, okay, an even busier stretch of golf. We're going to go play Northern, and then next week we go to the PC Open. Perfect.
Yep.
Well, awesome. Guys, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Everything about the previous weekend at Brack, all of the event results, pictures, scoreboards are online. Go check that out and get signed up for your events. Thank you so much, guys. Brad, take us out.
No, everyone play well. Best of luck. Enjoy this 3-day weekend, and have a great weekend. We'll see y'all later.
Night, everybody.